This is the Morning Buzz, the Wednesday edition. It is October 19th. It is 7:01 a.m. and it's going to be a good day. And today we have some news. Of course, we're going to be talking about a new Biden announcement, inflation, and of course, some new COVID variants because I don't think we had enough, guys. I'm going to hand it over to Aiden with our newscast.
Thank you, Leslie, and good morning, listeners of 90.3 WMSC Upper Montclair. My name is Aiden Ivers, and today, guys, is yet another very special day. Because right after our Morning Buzz broadcast, I'm taking my ADJ test. Very, very important day for me. I'm really excited. And Mr. Jake Goetz is going to be my proctor. So, so before that happens, though, we've got some news to cover. So let's get into it. In national news, according to NPR.org, community members of Raleigh, North Carolina, have been dedicating their daily jogs to Susan Carnatz, who was one of the victims of last week's shooting in that community by a 15-year-old teenager under the hashtag #RunForSue on social media. That's where it's been gaining traction. And this also combines international news because this same topic has been reached across the world in places like Ireland and Australia, which is pretty interesting. And in statewide news, according to NJ.com, we have some intercollegiate news from Princeton University, as they reported on Friday, unfortunately, that one of their undergraduate students, Misrak Unit, is missing. According to a tweet by their university, she was last seen near Residence Hall on the Princeton campus, and she has brown eyes, black hair, and a light brown complexion, and she also weighs 130 pounds, and her height is 5 feet and 4 inches. So on behalf of all of us in the station this morning and the whole Montclair State community, we sincerely hope that Ms. Unit is found safe and found unharmed, hopefully in the best case scenario. And in local news, according to Montclair Local, the Montclair Fund for Educational Excellence gave Charles H. Bullock School the first ever Excellence in Equity grant. And this grant will cover the school's social justice program on a cap of $10,000. So congratulations to Charles H. Bullock School. That's pretty cool. And for weather right now, it is pretty chilly here on campus. You're welcome, Emily McCormack, with a high of 36 degrees. But today it's going to get a little bit warmer with a high of 54 and a low of 37. With a sunny sky and winds gusting at around 10 to 15 miles per hour. This has been your Hour 1 newscast and weather forecast here on 90.3 WMSC Upper Montclair. Back to you, Leslie.
Thank you so much, Aiden. Yes, it is very chilly. It's starting to become that weather. It's really cold in the morning, but beautiful sunrise. We have a really nice view in studio of the sunrise. And anyways, we are going to get some sports news. Alex Braun.
Sports! Yes, we got great sports news today because the Yankees beat the Guardians last night 5-1, winning the ALDS and are moving on to face the Houston Astros in the ALCS. That means they're only one series away from going to the World Series. The game is tomorrow. Actually, it's tonight at Houston, Texas at 7:37. And also the Phillies beat the San Diego Padres 2-1, making their record 1-0 in the NLCS. And tomorrow tonight they'll be playing San Diego at 4:35. And in hockey news, last night the New Jersey Devils beat the Anaheim Ducks 4-2, and the New York Rangers will play the San Jose Sharks tonight at 7:30. And basketball. Last night, the NBA has officially started with the Boston Celtics beating the Philadelphia 76ers 126-117. But don't fret, Knicks and Nets fans, because tonight the Nets will be playing the Pelicans at 7:30, and the Knicks will be playing the Grizzlies at 7:30. In Montclair State sports news, the Montclair State volleyball team swept Rutgers Newark in the New Jersey Athletic Conference action. The Red Hawks knocking Rutgers Newark, who has 0-16. The Red Hawks beat the Rutgers Newark in the first game 25-11, then 25-13, then 25-15. The Red Hawks visit Trinity on Thursday with the first serve schedule for 7 p.m. And in Montclair State, women's soccer team held up the top TNC TCNJ 3-2. The Red Hawks knocked off TCNJ for the first time since October 4th, 2014. The Red Hawks will host William Patterson in the NJAC action tonight at 7 p.m. at MSU Park. I've been Alex, and this has been Sports.
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 Did you say the New Jersey Devils won?
Yeah.
Did I hear that right?
They actually won today.
Go Devils. Okay. I was like, wait a minute.
That's not right.
I'm like, that's interesting. Every New Jersey Devils fan can relate to that, and it's probably really happy, but also sad that that's a rarity. Anyways, we've got a little bit to talk about inflation adjustments. Jake.
Gosh, I have to do it? Okay.
Yeah, sorry. It's the way this kind of whole morning buzz thing goes.
Yeah. Jeez. Who signed up for this? Okay. Inflation adjustments means lower tax rates for some in 2023. The rapidly rising cost of food, energy, and other daily staples could allow many Americans to reduce their tax bills next year. Tax rates are adjusted for inflation, which in typical times means incremental movements in the thresholds for what income is taxed at what rate. After a year that brought America's fastest price growth in 4 decades, the shift in rates is far more notable, an increase of about 7%. Other parts of the tax code will be affected by the inflation adjustment. Those would include the standard deduction Americans can claim on their tax returns. The shift would be slightly larger if not for a change Republicans made as part of President Donald J. Trump's tax overhaul that was passed in 2017. It tied rates to a measure of inflation called the Change Consumer Price Index that typically raises more slowly than the standard consumer price index. We're not talking about the rich because I'm confused. We're not talking about the rich because we're broke college students. The 35% rate will start above 231,000 for individuals and 462,000 for married couples. The 32% rate will start above incomes of 182,000 for individuals and 364,000 for couples. Numbers are hard. I apologize.
Yeah, that numbers are hard. Can confirm. Math is difficult.
It's not even math. It's just like saying like how to.
No, yeah,
representing the numbers. Yeah.
Sorry, I don't know why. I'm just gonna quick anecdote real quick. That reminds me. I don't know if you guys did this in like elementary school when you're learning about big numbers. They make you practice saying them. You know what I mean?
Honestly, no. And
No?
I kind of wish they did because
They made
that
me
would have
practice.
helped me just now a lot.
They made us practice, and it was like one of the most traumatizing things ever. Because I'd always get it wrong in front of the whole class.
Oh,
The big number on the board say, and say this.
No, like literally. But now here we are saying it on radio, so I don't know if that really helps.
Do you think it would have prepared you more if you had to read it?
Who are you asking, Jake or me? Because I did
You.
practice. I didn't
I'm
do
asking
well.
because- okay.
I don't know if it worked.
yeah.
No, I didn't think it'd be
this is-
important at 8 years old to know how to say big numbers. I didn't think I'd ever have to deal with big numbers. I just knew that $20 was a lot, you know.
Yeah.
So $20 is like $1 million.
Yeah, well, I guess it's getting
It's getting to be
getting to be less.
Yeah.
less and less each and faster too. It is the rate at which this is happening is really the I think the big significant like part.
Mhm.
And I don't know, it's hard to say like why exactly it's going, like I don't know. Sometimes I think that like people jump to like very quick conclusions about like what's contributing to this, when I think that like the war in Ukraine and supply shortages from COVID are still like most likely the biggest contributing factors.
A lot of things have long-term effects
Right.
that are,
yeah.
and they seem more hidden because they're not immediate, or they're
Mhm.
it's still kind of like processing. But like a lot of those big things, I mean, it's not like COVID is like over or not over. We're kind of in this like weird stage where like I guess lots of places have masks are optional, and like people are still getting in. There's
Right.
new variants, but for the most part we're like back to normal life. For example, we're all in studio today, right? Like a lot of people are
Yeah.
commuting on their way to work right now.
Mhm.
And you know, but that did change a lot
Mhm.
economically, and we're still feeling those effects, even if we feel like we're back to normal in a day-to-day. So yeah.
Yeah. And I don't know. Sometimes I wonder if it's more of like it's also like the direction that our economy is like going in. Like I feel like it's so like tied to like I don't know. It's interesting, like more consumer products. And I feel like there's not as much as like I don't know, like the way that like the job market is kind of like dwindling, but at the same time there's like these constant like tourist attraction. Like I don't know. It's I feel like maybe a shift in focus to more like, I guess, self-sustaining like communities and stuff like that.
Mhm.
I don't, because like I feel like that's the point of an economy. It's supposed to like funnel through and sustain everything through that, like I don't know, getting the river to flow around. I don't know. Economics is hard. I'm sorry.
Economics. Well, we're going to move on to some New Jersey news.
Nice.
Yeah.
What's up with all these other states? I don't care. New Jersey sues oil gas companies alleged they deceive the public over climate change. Governor Phil Murphy's administration sued 5 fossil fuel companies and their trade group for systematically concealing information that the burning of oil and gas has contributed to a warming planet and more intense storms that have hammered New Jersey in recent years. The lawsuit filed in Mercer County alleges that ExxonMobil, Shell Oil, Chevron, BP, ConocoPhillips, and the American Petroleum Institute have known for decades that fossil fuels are a major cause of climate change. But instead of warning the public, they waged a public relations campaign to sow doubt with, according to the lawsuit, quote, with the goal of confusing the public, delaying the transition to a lower carbon economy and future, increasing their own profits, and further deepening dependence on their products, end quote. Scott Larman, a spokesman for the American Petroleum Institute, did not address any of the allegations. Global carbon dioxide emissions have increased by about 90% since 1970, with total emissions from fossil fuel combustion and industry contributing about 78% of the total greenhouse gas emissions increase from 1970 to 2011.
This is so startling to me.
Yeah.
But also not surprising.
Yeah, no, like it's
both.
I think it is kind of interesting to see New Jersey like the New Jersey governor doing this. You think it'd be a more federal thing. You think it'd be a global thing, honestly.
Yeah, I guess so.
Right? Because like yeah, and it is interesting to see like I know PBS has a really good documentary about it on Frontline, but like the extent of like the lengths gone to cover up what like research that they found on this. And yeah, no, it definitely it's wild and it's very well substantiated. So I think any anywhere in the world has a right to do this.
What, sue?
Yes.
Yeah. It's a lot. That's like a big secret to keep.
Yeah.
That is a big thing to hide.
It's
like
just
so
like
many companies
gross
do it.
negligence on such a large scale, right?
And look where we are now.
Nah, and yeah, and now like
look where we're going.
yeah, like the whole like it really is a global thing, right? Like most of most of Pakistan, like a third of Pakistan is underwater, or at least it was. I don't even know how the situation there is improved, or not improved. But yeah, it's absolutely. I think it's good that someone's holding them accountable.
Yeah.
Even if it's not, I don't know what the results of this will be, but
I mean, it's interesting how you say that's like it's weird that New Jersey would sue over this, but it's like from like having, I don't know, Governor Murphy as a governor, that doesn't surprise me because I feel like he's very, I don't know, I feel like he just goes for things, does that make sense?
Yeah,
like that doesn't surprise me from him that he would do something like this, which I think is pretty cool that he's calling them out.
I'm very it's just like I can't imagine like how, like I don't know, like when you look up climate change, global warming, whatever, like I think a lot of people always like draw to fossil fuels for like being like a big contributor. I can't imagine like how as a company of like fossil fuels you're trying to convince people That like, no, like what we're doing is fine. It has not contributed to any of this.
It's all about the money.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
literally that's what it
Mhm.
all comes down to.
And it was also like, I think like at this point it's pretty clear to people, but for a really
Yeah.
long time it was not. And for a really long time
Yeah.
people were denying this. It was not like right, like even on South Park you had I forget what that one politician's name is.
Al
Al
Gore.
Gore, yeah, right. You
Yeah.
had Al Gore, like, who, you know, did a lot of climate change activism, and they painted him as this like insane activist getting worried about nothing. And I think that was like a pretty popular conception. And like, I don't know. I think that was a conception that was pretty deliberately constructed by these companies.
On, we are going to be doing one of our most beloved segments here on the Morning Buzz, exploring the world of Reddit. If you don't know what Reddit is, it's just a wonderful app website where people, you know, can voluntarily share their deepest and darkest secrets anonymously on the internet, and it's hilarious and also terrifying sometimes. But as a disclaimer, these stories are not our personal experiences. These are questions and situations from users on Reddit, and we are on the dating advice subreddit, and I actually read this the other day and we'll see what we all think of it. But the headline is "Girl accidentally sends me a screenshot of my own text." I went out on a date with a friend of a friend recently, and the whole thing went great. We spent about 8 hours together, and we talked literally the entire time. She told me she had a great time before we said goodbye. I texted her after to say how much I enjoyed spending the day with her, and she responded immediately saying the same, and that she'd love to go out with me again. So everything was going great until the next day when she sent me a photo. I opened the text and it was a screenshot of the text I sent her after the date. She deleted it soon afterwards, and I'm not sure if she knows that I saw it. I wasn't sure what to make of this. I felt like she might be making fun of me by sending me my slightly embarrassingly vulnerable text to her friends. She texted me afterwards, though, as if nothing had happened. Should I mention the fact that I saw the screenshot, or should I let it slide? And should I be worried that she sent it to her friends? Dun dun dun.
I don't know. For me, like, I don't know. I operate with the assumption that anything I write could potentially like be like, I don't know. You always have to take that into account. And like, also like, I think that if you like just look at what you wrote and it's like, is there anything like wrong with that? Like, are they like making fun of you or something just for being vulnerable? Like, I don't know. It's
Well, he's jumping to that conclusion.
Right,
That
yeah.
may not be the case. It could be.
no, like I could totally imagine it being a totally like, oh wow, look at how sweet this guy is.
Yeah.
Right.
I guess it's just like when people take screenshots, it's normally not to like, I don't know, praise.
I think
Yeah,
it can go
maybe.
either way, especially in terms of dating. It's very, I don't know. I feel like I've been in the situation, right, where it's like, it could be either one. Like,
Yeah.
oh, look how sweet. Or, oh God, cringe.
Yeah.
Never again. Goodbye forever.
But I don't know. I feel like unless like you said something that might have been a little risky, like I don't know. Like I can't even imagine what like how like I had a good time hanging out with you all day could
Like, that's not even
be super cringe. I don't know how you could phrase it in a way where someone could be so repulsed that they feel the need to share it.
You'd be surprised by Redditors.
Yeah, honestly,
They usually think they're being pretty tame, and sometimes they're not.
What I think is maybe she sent it to be like, oh, look how sweet him, or maybe she's making fun of him. I think you just come up and like you're having on your day and be like, hey, I saw this. Please don't send this to my friend. I don't want our private conversations to be like talked about. And if she
Yeah.
really loves hanging out with you, she'd be like, okay, that makes sense.
That's a pretty valid boundary,
Yeah.
honestly.
She could like apologize like real quickly, like sorry about that, like and like
It doesn't need to be. a big deal.
I guess like it's also just awkward, like why did she take the screenshot in the first place?
Yeah.
But there's also something, Cassandra. I don't think it's out of somebody's control. You know, they can't like read the person's mind about why they took the screenshot at first. You know, and they
Mhm.
can't put a lock on their phone. Say, don't screenshot this.
Yeah.
No, you can't.
Which is why communication is so important.
Yeah, right.
Because
And
you
even
can't
if
read
you
someone's mind.
and even if you do set that boundary, like I feel like there's always the potential that somebody might see a text, like even if somebody just has their phone open and someone's nearby,
Yeah.
right? Like there's always that possibility. So I don't think you could ever fully expect that a text conversation is fully private,
Mhm.
or at least doesn't at least have the potential to be non-disclosed.
I'm going to circle back to the original question. If you guys were in this situation, would you bring it up to the other person or would you just let it slide?
I would let it slide because
Yeah.
I just don't like confrontation like that.
Of course, yeah.
And
Yeah.
I would just be like, just whatever. I didn't say anything crazy.
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
I just like whenever I text them, be like, but it would cause some rift in definitely the relationship.
Yeah.
Mm.
I don't know if I said before, Alex. I don't know if it would be like if you were on a date with somebody and you said, "Oh yeah, I have this screenshot of this text I sent you the other day." I feel like you could do it in a subtle way to say like, "Oh yeah, I really enjoy my time with you, and I wish not to get caught up in a lot of other people's perceptions, something like that, instead of just saying, "Oh, I saw this."
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you'd bring it up in like a subtle
And
way?
like, yeah, not
Interesting.
like because it would be
You don't want to confront them.
because eventually, like, if the relationship goes along, it lasts for that long. It'll be revealed sometimes. Like, oh yeah, remember that time you screenshotted my text? Yeah.
Yeah. One of those great fun times.
Yeah.
Honestly, I'd probably let it slide. I feel like it's not that
For this
huge of a deal.
context, I think it's
I don't think it's a
totally
big
cool to
deal.
let it slide just because like
Yeah.
right, like I don't think there's not much to it. I feel like
It'd
there's
be,
definitely
yeah.
it might be I could see myself like asking about it maybe in like casual conversation, like, yo, I did see that, just to like call them out a little bit, but just like all in good fun. I can't imagine that like anything
Like serious could come.
yeah, right.
Yeah.
Like I can't imagine it being a big deal.
Mm.
But like I don't know, maybe if the information in the text was sensitive, then it'd be like a problem.
Then it would be a lot. The stakes would be so much higher.
Yeah, right. But like it doesn't matter.
I think the stakes are pretty high for the next thing of dating advice.
Oh,
Jake.
jeez.
man.
Let's
Super, super crazy.
hear about this. So this is the real big question. Why? Somebody please tell me why it's considered rude to order a lemonade on the first date.
So rude.
I'm just hearing about this now.
How dare you?
I was on a first date with my now ex. I told him that I want to order a lemonade and he got offended and told me that if I order a lemonade, I would put him in the friend zone.
Yes, now.
I told him several times that I wanted to order a lemonade. When I got to the cafe, he ordered a bottle of wine and didn't let me choose anything else. I was confused. I was out with another guy. We went to a pub, and this time I ordered a lemonade. This guy was also kind of offended by my order, but he didn't say anything. I could see on his face that he was disappointed in some way. My question is that why is it that if you order a lemonade on the first date, the guy you're dating automatically assumes that he's in the friend zone? Okay.
I have never heard
So
of
I
this.
think-
It's really funny.
So for me, I have a theory about this. I don't think it's the lemonade.
I don't
I
so
think
either.
that they're probably going to places where alcoholic beverages are being served, and I think I think it's more about not participating in that.
Yeah.
Because I think that like this idea of like the shared, like we're doing this together, like I don't know. I don't think it's the lemonade. I think it's that you don't want to drink.
Mhm.
Yeah, and that's like that's a whole other thing too,
Mhm.
because like people kind of have that social expectation of like you drink usually like I'm assuming like wine on these type of dates. I know I'm like newly 21, so like I don't know the social norm, but I think that's like a normal thing, at least from what I've seen in movies. They always have like wine on dates, and that's like very typical.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I guess people are offended if you don't, but that's I don't know. I guess that's just embedded.
Yeah,
in our
no, that
culture and
is
society
weird,
that
though.
it's normal to like
Shouldn't
drink,
be.
but like you don't have to. Like
Mhm.
drink your lemonade. Lemonade is delicious.
Yeah.
It's fire.
Do what you want. Find someone who accepts you for your lemonade loving ways. You're gonna say something, Aiden.
No, I was gonna say, well, maybe it depends on what flavor lemonade too.
What's
What?
wrong with plain lemonade?
Oh no, I'm just saying.
Plain lemonade is amazing.
People
Yeah.
have like a wide variety of lemonade to choose
Do you
from.
think she's ordering like crazy like
Like strawberry
like-
lemonade.
No,
strawberry?
Yeah.
Get out of here.
no.
They
I'm kidding. It's
You telling me they're going to like the Applebee's and spending like the $4 on those $4 lemonades or something?
good. Those are good.
Those are good.
I like them.
$4, and you can only have one because they're.
Are they
sweet.
that good for $4?
No,
No.
go make lemonade at home. It's not too hard. Just lemon. I mean, non-alcoholic.
Just lemon.
If you want to, if you want to go make lemonade. If you want to go make lemonade, it only takes ice, sugar, and lemons and water. It's actually a lot of
Thank you,
steps.
Alex.
You're welcome. This has been Alex's recipe for lemonade.
You know who else is candled? Candled. Who else is canceled? Possibly Danny Masterson. If you don't recognize that name, he is from the show, that 70s show. He played Stephen Hyde, more usually referred to as Hyde. Also one of my favorite characters. And I am now sad because he's on trial for 3 rape charges. Danny Masterson, former star of the long-running sitcom That 70s Show, is about to face 3 women in court who say he raped them 2 decades ago at a trial whose key figures are all current or former members of the Church of Scientology. Opening statements could begin as early as yesterday in the Los Angeles trial of Masterson, and while a judge has expressed her determination not to have the church become the center of the proceedings, it will inevitably loom large. Masterson is charged with raping the women between 2001 and 2003 in his home, which functioned as a social hub. When he was at the height of his fame, Masterson had pleaded not guilty to the charges. One of the women who had been Masterson's longtime girlfriend, another was a longtime friend, and the third a newer acquaintance. All 3 members of the Church of Scientology, as Masterson still is. All 3 accusers have since left, and they said the church's insistence that it deal internally with problems between members made them hesitant at first to go to authorities. I don't know. Did you guys watch That 70s Show?
Yes, I did.
No.
I did too.
I saw like 5 episodes and did
It's,
not like it.
You didn't like it.
I don't know. I just wasn't
Actually, I
digging
get
with
it.
I could totally see.
I
Yeah,
can totally see someone.
it can be fun, but it's
It used to be my favorite show.
It also was my favorite show growing up.
yeah.
Why? I don't know. I watch it every day before school for some reason. Now I'm like kind of sad.
No, it's tough, and especially because like I think especially like with more like lighthearted media that's like more fun and stuff like that.
Mhm.
When you have something like this, it's like it's always bad, but I feel like sometimes like you might be willing to be a bit more like if there's more artistic value to it, it's like okay, there is something here worth preserving. But if it's just supposed to be like fun, then like you can't. There's nothing there anymore.
Mhm. Are you talking about like That 70s Show is like a show?
Yeah.
Like how it's like more lighthearted and comedic?
Yeah.
Yeah, it definitely is. I don't know. To me, I mean, I was talking about this before we went to air, but this is like, I don't even want to say reoccurring thing, but honestly, it is. It's like where someone who's like a beloved celebrity or actor, is accused of rape or sexual assault or something like that. And I don't know, maybe people don't believe it because they love that actor so much.
Yeah, like they're willing
That's
to
so
like,
problematic.
look
No,
past
it's
it.
terrible. And I think it kind of speaks to like I guess the power dynamics of celebrity of like I don't know. I think that when you put someone in that position and it's funny, I didn't actually know that the Church of Scientology factors into this too, because that
Mhm.
organization is
Something else.
has a history of pretty pretty wild behavior and pretty very suspicious actions. I believe there's still a woman that's still missing because of like that was involved with the church. Dude, I don't know. But yeah, no, it's wild stuff.
Yeah. I think also when like there's so much power in numbers, when multiple people come forward against one person, that just speaks volumes.
Mhm.
I'm glad it's becoming, in a sense, more normal to call people out and charge them, even if something happened a long time ago, even if, you know, they're famous, even if a lot of people like them or think they're a good person. You know, 3 people are standing up and talking about it and, you know, doing something about it, which is not easy to do.
Mhm.
So to those women, I commend them. Good for them. That's great.